Yeah. Do you mind guys talking about your characters in the show and the setting?
My character is Ethan. He's sort of a by the book rule follower. Thank you.
You are actually godsend.
I got you.
He's a by the book kind of guy. He's a rule follower. He's a law student, and within the treasure hunting group, he's kind of the voice of reason at times. But he's also Jess's childhood best friend, and they have a very strong bond and connection growing up together. He's just very protective over him, so he's willing to do just about anything to protect her. This treasure.
And I'm a rookie FBI agent, Agent Ross. She was top of her class at Quantico, brilliant, but very determined and maybe a little headstrong. And she was assigned a huge case right out of Quantico, and I botched it. I got the wrong guy. So I got demoted down to the Baton Rouge field office, where in my first week, Jess and Tasha waltz in with this story about treasure and the kidnapping, and I just think I'm being hazed by all of the senior FBI agents. They're all watching me on a monitor from the back and snickering at the new girl. But then I kind of start to piece together that maybe this is not all baloney, and kind of start following all of them. I'm a couple paces behind them, trying to piece it all together. So she's going on her own journey to figure out what's actually going on.
So is Agent Ross a friend or a foe?
So there's an arc there, because in the beginning, like I said, I don't take them seriously. They're two teenagers who just waltzed into the FBI with a possible treasure relic. But she does have this great journey of maybe she's going to start helping them. Maybe she actually believes them. So we kind of get to see that happen through the season. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the movies. How do if so, how do the movies inform the show?
Or just 20 years later, the same characters exist. Many of them pop up in our show. We reference them.
Oh.
And we keep that spirit of National Treasure going, but as opposed to 2 movies, you get 10 mini-movies, because we're doing the whole series.
The pace is there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pacey show. And as soon as you start, you're just going to strap in because you're on the ride. And this has been a really fun story to tell.
And National Treasure is all about those big set pieces, those action set pieces, right? And we deliver one of those in every single episode. So
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, there's, I don't want to give too much away, so there's this question better. So you play a lovable goofball who is trying to win back one of the characters. How does that go with the conspiracy theories? And how does that relationship, that dynamic work?
Oh, I think that's an Oren. That's the Oren character. Yeah, I was like, oh, you said conspiracy theories. That's Oren. Yeah, no, this is the dad of the group. He's our Boy Scout.
I guess I'm kind of a goofball, but I'm actually quite straight edge,
And if anything, I feel like you're trying to tell them to stay on the straight and narrow in the beginning.
The beginning of Automate, I'm really just against this whole idea. It's too dangerous. It's going to get everybody in trouble. And once I finally decide to accept it, I'm just there for the
You can't beat them, join them.
I assume it'll be pretty action-packed. Will there be a lot of fight scenes, or you get involved in the fight scenes?
Yeah.
I mean, really epic fight scene. Goes I think it's
too many to count. I myself, I think, had 3 in one episode.
You guys go to the training you need up for?
Yeah, well, because I knew my character was going to be working with a weapon, and so I had a ton of weapons instruction just to be sure that I knew these guns backwards and forwards to be authentic when I used them. I knew how to handle them safely. So I had instructor given to me in Baton Rouge, and I met with her multiple times a week, and we would do different drills, and I kind of got to go through like a mini crash course in FBI weapons training, and then I got to use it, and it was great. I didn't need a stunt person, I knew how to do everything, and then all you do is just react. We're actually blowing up walls. Like so many of our stunts are practical, they're not put in at the end. So then we just get to live in that world and just react to it. Yeah, we kind of all felt like badasses.
I just dream that we don't have to pretend, react to CGI. We're really reacting to real things moving in sets of practical sets like you said. I mean, I wish I got to do a bit more fight fatigue, but I was kind of more the brains.
How does your show stack up to like a lot of action type shows? It's kind of informed from the Charlie.
I think one of the successful things about National Treasure as a whole is we give people a ton of action and that dose of violence or whatever, but it's also done in a really family-friendly way. So I kind of feel like when you have big action shows these days, it might skew only to the audience, and I think we do a really good job of opening it up for multiple generations to sit down and enjoy. Oh, how is our show different from other like big action shows on stage? What kind of set us apart? They actually all had a nickname on the show, all the kids finding the treasure. We called them the Scoobies because a lot takes place in this van, so like they were the Scoobies. So there's like a built-in nostalgia thing, even all the nicknames.
That's awesome.
Yeah, band of friends. Different personalities, networks. It's just a real team effort.
Yeah, everyone's a piece to the puzzle.
So, Agent Ross,
Yeah.
right? Like FBI Agent Ross. How does it feel being the one that has to stop everybody else from having fun? You just want to treasure.
I'm such a hall monitor. But you know, that's actually the fun thing about Agent Ross is she along the way is gonna have to start breaking rules if she's gonna help these kids. So, you know, like she's maybe an angel one day and a bit of a devil the next.
Take kids, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
You learned what hanging
I gotta eat something. Well, we're very excited for this series. Can you talk about putting together a kind of a diverse cast now for this one? You know? How is that important to you guys?
It was the first thing we wanted to do. It was the most important thing ever because it was like the first two movies were, told the story of the founding fathers and all the, those guys. It was time to tell the story of people who came from the South and from Latin America, and also the time to tell a female-centric version too. Like we wanted to do, it's we did Ben Franklin and all those male historical figures, and the movies we wanted to do female historical figures that are underrepresented in the past, that people don't really know their stories. So we found a couple of fun people that we don't want to tell you who they are. I want you guys to watch and then look them up. But that was really important to us. So diversity, cast, diversity, story, and we just had great partners and ABC that supported us.
What was it about the movies that made you like, we can make a series out of this?
Well, it's the world. I mean, it's like series are always based on the world. It's like we like it. I mean, we're fans. Like we said, we're fans of the movie. We got to work with all these people. We're not great. It's like we always just wanted to just do it, find a treasure hunt world where we could just do like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
10 episodes of 23andMe with our heroes. We wanted to say, like, who is she? Where did she come from? We all come from somewhere. Like I did clock round. I know exactly where I come from.
Well, yeah, he's 99.9%.
99.9%. I know
Irish. I'm a lot more Irish. But, yeah. Yeah, it's too funny.
Lyndon told us it's gonna be like a big action set piece on every episode, sort of a deal. So how challenging, how elaborate, how complicated are these action sequences, and were there any of them from the storyboard that you couldn't really pull off?
You know, an answer to kind of both questions is like, yeah, it's a 10-hour movie, because that's how we think. It's a 10-hour movie. But you did have to squeeze more capers in there. You had to squeeze, because it's 10 hours, so we had to squeeze more than just one kidnap the president. So we had to, but yeah, we try to do, like, especially maybe not the first one so much, but we do. Every episode gets
It just
more.
builds.
Yeah.
It builds. And by the point, it's like a roller coaster ride. You kind of go up, and then we were so surprised how Disney Plus and ABC embraced all the action adventure, because it's not just sitting in a room discussing treasure. It's going out on the road, and it's going up against bad guys, and we were just like, oh my god, are they going to allow us to do it? They did.
Yeah, and then we were really lucky that they supported it, that they gave us the budget to do it, you know. So, yeah.
What was kind of the top things that you guys wanted to do in a TV show that you couldn't do in the movies?
More romance with love triangle. Can't really do that with, you know, we had a little bit of it with Abigail, but we got to do more, you know, because it's TV and movies are sort of the same now, you know, it's kind of the same, but which is TV shows are longer, but so we did have to fill it with a lot more relationship stuff, a lot more, because you can't do Mission Impossible every episode. We did not have a budget for that.
Or Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's more pressure on this series without having Nicolas Cage as like the front man for this time around?
For sure, like everybody wants Nick, but we always, you know, say that I think Jake said it, it's like his spirit, like this show is 20 years after the last, or 17 years after the last movie. We pick it up exactly from that. It's like 17 years later, this is where Harvey Keitel is, this is where he has a grandson. This is Riley Poole, has 3 books now and a podcast.
I was going to ask if you had any more books.
Yeah. And, so we try to like carry those, and Ben Gates figures in the universe very prominently, because he's like a huge, like Bob Ballard, he's a big treasure hunter guy. He's discovered 2 huge treasures. He discovered the Titanic, basically. His presence is there. So while he's not physically there, the series wouldn't be the show without the Ben Gates.
I'm really excited about the storyline of Jess being a dreamer, and I'm wondering how much of that aspect of her character factors into the overall story.
It's everything.
It's everything.
It's everything in the story.
It's not just a thing. It's
What are you hoping audiences take away from that story?
Well, we're hoping that they immediately, everyone can identify with Jess. Everyone across the country, everyone gets to go, oh, I didn't realize she had to do it. And each step, so we want to kind of go, oh, that's what it means to be a dreamer. I didn't know that. And a lot of the stuff that I learned too, we have a dreamer on
staff.
So, and she would tell us
Stories that made it into the show.
There would be things in relationship stuff that I never even thought of. And she would explain to us, and go, oh, it's really interesting.
So just like the edutainment of the historical element of the franchise, it's all about edutainment and educational entertainment. We want people to, first and foremost, be entertained. It's an adventure story. Jess is like crazy. It's taking on insane adventures with her friends. But then at the same time, you're learning something about her status, like what it means to that. So we learned.
How you doing? Did everybody? You have about 40 seconds left.
Anyone else get a question?
He mentioned the page where you have the door open for him to make a cameo, or if you have to
We have the door open for him if we have a season 2. But season 1 is probably not. He's just too busy. But we do have a 3rd Easter egg character coming.
Oh.
So that'll be from the 2 movies.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right.